Good afternoon. Welcome to the Jonhson Mclang show. I know this is not my normal spot, but I just decided to do it here today. Um, I'm gonna close the door real quick a little bit. I know I'm not, in, my car or doing this or in my living room doing this or my room doing this. I'm in a different room, but anyway, um, I just thought I'm not outside on my deck because it's a bit chilly today. But today's episode, I'm going to try and make these episodes kind of quick, not like an hour or anything like that. I just want to discuss, and I'm sorry that I was going to do this episode on Election Day. This is our 2023 Election Day special, but I forgot to do it on Election Day, and then I was going to do it. Okay, then I was going to reschedule it to the 8th. Then that didn't work out. Then I was gonna maybe reschedule it the 9th, and then I found out. Then I realized I had basketball practice on the 9th, so I couldn't do that. And then I was gonna do it yesterday, the 10th. But I forgot to do. I forgot to do it on the 10th, so I moved it to today, the 11th. So here we are with the Election Day 2023 special. I just want to talk about the election results. But first, happy Veterans Day, because today is Veterans Day, so I hope everyone has. I want to wish happy Veterans Day to all the veterans that served in our military. I want to thank our military men and women, our veterans. I want to thank them for their hard work and service for our nation. So I want to say thank you to our veterans. And happy Veterans Day. Yeah. Anyway, now I'm going to talk about real quickly the election. So there was a couple elections this year. Now, it wasn't a really big election like the midterms last year. It's not as big as a general election or a presidential election. It was free. We had a couple big elections, and there was free governor races in states: Louisiana, Kentucky, and Mississippi. And let's talk about the first one, the Louisiana election. So apparently, Louisiana election was a Democrat. Apparently, Louisiana for 4 years has had a Democrat governor. Apparently, I don't know how, but we did, and I guess they elected this person in 2019. The last election was in 2019 for Louisiana. And let me look up that Louisiana race. Hold on here. But apparently they had a Democrat governor for a while. Okay, so they had a Democrat before. His name was John Bell, and he was the Democrat before. And then all his terms were up. and then um, and then I guess the Democrats chose a guy named Sean Wilson, who's the Democrat, and then the Republican was Jeff Landry, and um, he was actually a member of Louisiana Congress. Um, well, actually, he was a part of the House of Representatives, and then before recently, he's been an Attorney General. Last time, so John Andre, and he was, I think, controversial or something, but he's the Republican that was running for governor in Louisiana. Um, and then Sean Wilson was the Democrat running against Jeff Andre, and Jeff Andre was trying to flip Louisiana's governor seat that's been blue. This election was held actually October 14th. They had an early election apparently, and Jeff Andre, the Republican, won and flipped Louisiana. Um, and flipped Louisiana. This year. So now Louisiana in January of next year, January 2024, will be sworn in. And that was a great victory for Republicans. And Louisiana is usually a red state for U.S. House. Not most of their House seats for U.S. House is red. And for U.S. Senate, they have two red Republican U.S. senators in Louisiana, two great ones. And then of course Louisiana, chooses Trump and Republicans for president, which is great. And I bet they'll continue to do that in 2024. I'm not worried about 2024 for Louisiana. Louisiana is usually a safe red state, but it's a good victory for Republicans. They flipped the seat, flipped the governor's seat, gained the governor's seat, flipped Louisiana governor's seat that used to be Democratic, which is good news for for Republicans, and a good victory for us this year. And the other race I'm going to talk about is Kentucky. Now, Kentucky in 2019, for some reason, elected Andy Beshear, and Andy Beshear has the controversial and bad stuff during COVID that I disagree with, and it was a whole big deal in Kentucky, and he was elected in 2019 somehow. I don't even know how he got elected in 2019. Okay, so Andy Beshear ran for re-election this year for his final and second term. And then this guy that was the Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, who is a African American Republican, which would be the first African American male would have been the first African American governor of Kentucky. Now, he was a great Republican. He was a great Attorney General, I think. And, and Trump supports him. He supports Trump. He was a great nominee, a great candidate. And his election was kind of close to Andy Beshear, but unfortunately, Andy Beshear won a second and final term in Kentucky, and I feel bad for Kentucky. I have family in Kentucky. I feel bad for Kentucky, but and it was bad news for Republicans and not a good victory. But we tried our hardest in Kentucky, and we'll just have to do better in 2027, which will be the next election. Now, I'm not too worried about Kentucky because Kentucky still has two Republican senators. Kentucky has red U.S. congressional seats, I believe. I think Kentucky and the state part of Kentucky, I think the Kentucky House of Representatives might be Republican. And I think the Kentucky Senate might be Republican still. I don't know that much about them. But unfortunately for governor, and of course for president, we chose Trump, and I bet Kentucky will still be Republican in 2024. I'm not too worried about Kentucky. I'm not too worried about Louisiana in 2024. I bet Kentucky once again will vote for Trump in 2020, or whoever the Republican might be in 2024. I bet we'll still win in 2024. But actually, there's some good news in Kentucky. There's other races in Kentucky other than the governor. We had, I think, the Secretary of State, the Treasurer, and Attorney General, I believe. And all 3 Republicans for the Attorney General, for the Treasurer, and for the Attorney General, Treasurer, and Secretary of State, all 3 of them won in Kentucky, which was a big deal. So there's some Republican victories in Kentucky other than governor. I just think I'll talk about this in a bit. Let's move on to the final election, which was Mississippi. I want to talk about Mississippi. That was in there. Mississippi was Governor Tate Reeves, Republican. He's running for re-election. And also Brandon Presley, which apparently is Elvis Presley's cousin or something. And he was running, and I think he was a commissioner or something, and mayor at one point in Mississippi, and running for a Democrat. However, Brandon Presley, I support Tate Reeves. I think Tate Reeves has done great things for Mississippi. I think there's a crisis or something going on in Mississippi with water, or I heard something about that, or in healthcare. But other things in Mississippi are doing great, and there's a momentum in Mississippi, and I think Tate Reeves done great things, and there's more work to be done for Tate Reeves to do, but I bet since he won the election, will be governor, be sworn in 2024, will hopefully turn things around and make more progress. And I think Tate Reeves has done progress already for Mississippi, but I think maybe there is a crisis going on, but I bet he'll work on it and fix it for 4 years, and under 4 years. So I'm proud of Tate Reeves. I think Tate Reeves is a good governor. I support Tate Reeves. Trump likes Tate Reeves. And Tate Reeves likes Trump. And I believe Mississippi will continue to be a safe state in 2024 for Trump. Now Mississippi. Brandon Presley, however, the Democrat, is very interesting to me. And he's a different type of Democrat. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I didn't like him at first. I didn't really trust him that much, but I started watching his campaign ads and his speeches and stuff. Now, I still support Tate Reeves. I think he's a good governor. I'm glad at that. Let me finish up Brandon Presley. Brandon Presley is more so a conservative Democrat. More so a conservative Democrat. More so a dino, like you would call Republican a rhino. He's a dino, I feel like, and he's conservative. And he has a good story. In Mississippi, I think he's done great. I think he did good things as commissioner, lowering prices, and did good things as mayor, lowering taxes. And a couple good things that I like about Brandon Presley, and he said this before, he disagrees with children getting transgender surgeries, which I agree on. And I don't really agree with much Democrats, but I think if Brandon Presley did win and become governor, he didn't win, but then he won't be governor, which is good in a way, but I believe he would have done great things as governor. He don't support transgender, which is good. with surgeries and stuff like that. And boys playing in girl sports, he disagrees with that. I disagree with that. Trump disagrees with it. Republicans disagree with both of those things. And he wants to lower taxes for people and have tax cuts in Mississippi, which I agree with, and Trump agrees with, and everyone else agrees. So I think Brandon Presley, if he did win, it might be a big deal. I would still like Tate Reeves to win. I'm glad that he would. But I bet Brandon Presley wouldn't be a big deal for Mississippi, He would maybe fix things, maybe he would know taxes, maybe he did it when he was mayor, and Republican voters supported, and this is a campaign ad, supported Brandon Presley. So I think Brandon Presley was a good Democrat, kind of like a conservative Democrat. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Brandon Presley totally. I think, he's a better Democrat than Biden and Hillary and Obama and Pelosi. I think he's different than those people. And I don't think he's totally evil like those people. I think he's a good faith-based man, a good Christian man, maybe with a good heart. He disagrees with transgender, but which I support, with the surgeries, and removing boys from girls sports, and he supports lowering taxes and tax cuts and helping businesses and helping people. I don't know how I totally feel about Brandon Presley, but he lost, and Tate Reeves won the election in a big way, which is a good victory for Republicans and a good victory for Mississippi. I hope whatever crisis they might be having, hopefully it gets fixed and gets better for Mississippi, but it's a good victory, I feel like, for Republicans and for, only won two governor's races. Unfortunately, Kentucky wasn't one of them, but Kentucky, other statewide races have gone Republican. So even though we won 2 out of 3 governor's elections, I kind of thought Mississippi would be safe, and we flipped one of them, Louisiana, so that's a good victory. Democrats say, media says, we didn't have a good victory, but we did, overall. And then, another race was in Ohio. And they had 2 races, one to legalize marijuana, which I'll talk about, and legalizing abortion in their state. And both of those referendums passed. Now, I disagree with one of them. I disagree with the abortion. And I kind of disagree with the marijuana, but not so much as the abortion. And that's kind of a defeat for Republicans. But I think Ohio, I don't know. I think there's something to do with freedom. I disagree with it, but the voters spoken, and I think Buckeyes just really like their freedom and their choices. And I think maybe they just want it protected in their, I don't know. But I think, I'm not worried about Ohio. I think Trump will still win Ohio. I bet Republican will win for governor in Ohio the next time that comes up. I bet we can win the Senate. We won a great victory in 2022 with J.D. Vance. But I bet we'll win again in 2024 for Senate in Ohio. I bet we'll continue to win House seats in Ohio. I bet Ohio is, a purple state. But in a swing state, we need to still remember. But I think it will go for Trump. I bet we'll still win House seats in Ohio. I bet they'll still have a Republican governor. I think Mike DeWine, who's a great governor, by the way. I disagree with a little bit with COVID, but that's done, and we have to move on. But, but he does great things for Ohio. I just disagree with this abortion case. But I want to talk about local, state and local elections compared to federal, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But, but we need to remember it is a purple swing kind of state, but I think for federal elections in some state places are different. Um, I just disagree with it, but with the marijuana, legalizing marijuana, I kind of disagree with it, but in a way, I support the marijuana decision. I think maybe we should decriminalize it or legalize it. And I think Trump supports that too. And I think libertarians totally support that. And I think maybe our state, that I'm in, Indiana, should do the same. Okay? You know, I think that should be decriminalized. But I think marijuana, one is freedom. One is a freedom thing. You know, you should be able to. I disagree with it. I don't like it. But it should be allowed to happen in a medical way, maybe a recreational way. So I think people should have the freedom to do marijuana and not be arrested for it. Maybe a fine, maybe, but they should not be put in prison or jail for using marijuana. You know, I think it maybe should be legalized in states. And Ohioans spoken, and I agree with what they done. And I think the good thing, this can really help our U.S. economy and our state's economy. Because there's something about taxes in there that will help the taxes and help the economy if we legalize it. There was something back during the governor's race in 2020 here in Indiana. They said something about it can help lower taxes. Uh, Different taxes can be lowered because we would raise tax on marijuana. So that means that something about property taxes or income taxes can go down. But there's something about taxes. There's something positive about the marijuana, legalizing marijuana, providing freedom and liberty to those people. And also, you know, I disagree with it. I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a sinful thing. And yes, more crime might happen with it, but at the same time, like people maybe having more tendency to do bad things, but because their brain goes wild. But anyway, you know, and I kind of support the legalizing marijuana. I support California doing it. I support Michigan doing it. I disagree with people smoking it and doing it, but at the same time, people should be allowed to do it as part of freedom. And I don't know. It does kill you, maybe. But I also heard it might help people too, mentally, physically. Maybe it might help your immune. I don't know. I think there's some. It might help you maybe not have seizures or something like that. I heard great things about CBD and what I can do. I haven't done it, but you know, I think medically and just for the heck of it, it should be out. You know, smoking's out, and that's. I think restrictions can be put on it. Like the prices can go up, taxes might go up on it, which will help the economy and help other taxes go down. But I also think Indiana done this at one point, where you're not allowed to smoke in some public areas, okay? And there's only, you have to do it a couple miles or a couple feet away or something. Maybe something like that can be done. I don't know. But I think it does need decriminalized. It should be maybe legalized. I think lots of people support it. The majority of people support legalization of it. I think it's just time. You know, I'm tired of fighting with it. I'm just tired of hearing about it. Let's just legalize it. It can have benefits for people. It can provide liberty and freedom to people, and can maybe do something about taxes, and dealing taxes, other taxes, with something. I don't know totally what it's about, but I think I heard something that it can do something to help our taxes for people, or something like that. And I think it can help our economy. And we can sell it, we can cut the red tape, we can cut off the regulation, we can sell it more, which will help our economy, and create a new market, and for states. I think Indiana should really do it. I think we should consider it. I think it's still a sin. I disagree with it, but I think we should do it. I think it's time. My opinion. Um, but good for. Ohio people have spoken, and for both of those referendums, I think they've spoken based on maybe freedom. Um, I think it was not a victory for abortion, but oh well, what can we do? Anyway, moving on from Ohio. Virginia had a couple elections, Senate and House. Now, Senate already in Virginia was blue, okay? And Democrats controlled the Senate. Republicans controlled the House until, unfortunately, Tuesday. The Democrats have flipped the House, but I don't remember the number or nothing. Maybe I can look it up. But yes, we didn't have a victory in Virginia with the Virginia House of Representatives and the Republican House of Representatives. With the Senate, Virginia Senate and the Virginia House of Delegates. That's what it's called, which is similar to a State House of Representatives. But it's called House of Delegates. And this is a little bit disappointing for Virginia. For Gwen Youngkin, the amazing governor of Virginia, Republican Gwen Youngkin, that won in 2021, which was a big victory, by the way. It's going to be harder for Virginia to get things passed and get things done, unfortunately. And this is unfortunately a defeat for us. But we just need to keep fighting for the next one. I'm trying to... So, let's see. So for the House of Delegates, Republicans in the House of Delegates for Virginia have 48 seats. 49 seats. Democrats got 48 seats for Republican, and Democrat got 51 seats, which is the majority. Now, it was so close. It was kind of a narrow majority for Democrats in a way. I think next time we have this election for House of Delegates and for Virginia, we need to just work harder to flip 2 seats, I think, or 3. Yeah, 3. We just need to flip 3 seats. I bet maybe next time, maybe we can do it. Because I bet Virginia and local elections in states are just so different. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but I just think we just need to work harder. Maybe I bet we're still going. Virginia is new to being Republican now. I think with statewide, not federal, yet. And we're going, and hopefully maybe in 2028 or 2030, whatever, for presidential election. I don't think Trump will win in Virginia in 2024. I don't think Republicans will win in 2024 for Senate or um, president in 2024 because Virginia has a presidential race in 2024 and Senate race in 2024. But I don't think Trump will win in 2024 in Virginia. But maybe possibly, maybe not even 2028, but maybe when we get into the 2034 or 2032 or whatever the next one is for president, not 2028, but maybe the one after 2028, 4 years later, and maybe Virginia might. But I think Virginia is starting to, for statewide, maybe possibly later on federal, but maybe it's starting to change and move to a Republican direction. But we were so close to getting 51 seats, but maybe the House of Delegates next election for the House of Delegates will hopefully see victory for us. Now the state Senate, Democrats got 22 seats, and Republicans got 19 seats. Unfortunately, but maybe we can flip those 3 seats too in the Virginia Senate. So yes, we didn't do too hot in Virginia. We didn't do too hot in Ohio too much, and we didn't do too hot in too hot in Ohio. We didn't do too hot in Kentucky. We didn't do too hot in Virginia. We kind of did okay in Kentucky. But even with these Republican defeats and these small Democrat victories, I do believe we're heading in the right direction. And we still got a lot of great Republican victories. We flipped a governor's seat, which is a big deal, and in Louisiana. I think we're moving in a better direction. A couple of losses are difficult to hear and sad to hear, but we need to keep fighting and keep doing the right thing and flip more seats and change. But we just now need to focus on 2024. And I think there was a Supreme Court race in Pennsylvania that I don't think went in our favor. However, I think a Democrat won in that Supreme Court race, which is concerning for Pennsylvania, but with the election maybe, possibly, but that don't really determine the presidential election, because there might not even be a dispute that will go to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, hopefully not in 2024. But I have some good news for 2024 for Pennsylvania and swing states that I'll talk about tomorrow. Good news for Republicans and for Trump, but I'll talk about that tomorrow. And there was a Rhode Island special House race to fill a vacancy in Rhode Island, I guess. The 1st District of Rhode Island. That went Democrat in 2022, Democrat in 2020 for years. And once again, the Democrat won in Rhode Island, District 1 for U.S. House in Rhode Island. But that Rhode Island 1st District that area has always been blue for years. So it's not really a victory for Democrats. This is staying the same, because we're never going to win Rhode Island at all. And it's not really a big deal, because Republicans still will have control in the House in 2024. This does nothing to the Democrats. They don't even gain seat for a Democrat. Rhode Island District 1 has been the same for years, and probably years to come. So I'm not concerned about Rhode Island, and I'm not concerned about 2024 with Rhode Island. And with the 2024 U.S. House race for all 435 districts, whatever, I bet we'll actually retain and keep our majority somehow. Maybe lose 1 or 2 seats, that, or maybe just one, that maybe we might gain some more. I don't know. But that Rhode Island, people don't be concerned about the Rhode Island District 1 race. That we knew that was going to happen anyway. Rhode Island is pretty much a safe blue state. And Rhode Island, Trump's not going to win in 2024 in that state for president. So in 2024, that person probably win again for 2024 House. So, well, I'm not concerned about there's no really helping Rhode Island. There's no really flipping Rhode Island. We can't really do much. And that's how I think Democrats won that District 1 with Rhode Island in 2022, and then that person, I think, resigned this year. So, a couple months ago, I think. And then they had a special election to get someone else. But anyway, which I think will be sworn in like next week or something. I don't know. But soon. But that really hurt Republicans at all. That Rhode Island race don't really hurt Republicans. So, for this year or 2024. Like, Rhode Island is not a concern. Because they don't really do much for the 270 number. So, anyway, hey, that was a defeat in Rhode Island, but we were going to be defeated in Rhode Island anyway. So it's not really a big deal. Unfortunately, Philadelphia, a Democrat won in Philadelphia for their mayor race, which I think is a big deal. But Philadelphia, I think for years, has been blue. Anyway, I don't think that would change anything for us or hurt us too much. Because Philadelphia has been blue, I think, for a long time in Pennsylvania, so I don't think that changes anything. I think they had a blue mayor this year before this election. I think his or her term is up in Philadelphia anyway. So maybe that might have been a defeat, but Philadelphia I don't think will change. And also Houston had an election too, a Democrat winning there. But we kind of knew that. Houston's been Democrat for a while anyway, too. So, and that don't really hurt Texas that much for the Senate in 2024, the House in 2024, governor. It don't really hurt anything. And it don't really hurt Donald Trump because Houston, that area, in that county, is going to be blue no matter what we do. Which is not concerned about, so what if Houston becomes blue? That don't really hurt Republicans. It would be nice to win it one of these days, but it's not going to hurt anything anyway. Anyway, just like Philadelphia, it won't really hurt our chances. Okay, it probably might not hurt flipping. It might not affect Pennsylvania in 2024. Hopefully not. But yeah. So yeah, we had some defeats in 2023, but we also had defeats in 2022. And we're in Kentucky statewide offices won, not governor, but Secretary of State, which is a big deal for Kentucky. Attorney General, a big deal for Kentucky, and a big deal. And we still won those, which is good. We flipped Louisiana, and we continued to keep Mississippi. So we had 2 great governor's races, especially Louisiana. I wish Kentucky was the same, but hey. But we just need to keep fighting. And I wish Virginia was different too. But we just need to keep, people in Virginia need to keep fighting. And maybe one of these days they will win. We gain the House, the delegates, and flip the Senate in Virginia. Hopefully, but we just need to keep fighting for 2024 and move on and But we have great victories, and also from my area, from my city, and that I'm in, Republicans for city council in my area won all of their elections, and they had some challenging elections in the city council. And a great conservative Republican in my area won. That that was 88 to 84. It was so close, but he pulled it off. And he is anti-vaccine and anti-mandates and lockdowns and a true, very conservative area Republican. And I'm glad that he won in my area. Um, um, and that's good for my city council too. So with my city council for the last several years has been, all of them have been, every single member of that city council is Republican, which is good for me and my area. But our county and our city has been Republican for years. A little bit Democratic, but all cities, all towns, and all counties have Democrats in their area. So every single city council seat, we kept it red. We have a very super majority in our city council for Republican, which is good. And we had some challenging people, though, challenging us in a couple of our city council districts, but we beat them, which is good for my area. I kind of thought maybe we would win, but I was scared, though. I don't know. But we won big time in my area, my town, which is good, or city, in my city in Indiana. And which is a good result for us. And we have one new person, I think, in our city council. He's the conservative guy that I was talking about. He, I think, is great, and a great Christian man, a great conservative man, and would probably hopefully will change how the city is right now and my area, and hopefully he'll do great things for the city, I bet, for the city council. So, also, however, we had a Democrat for a long time, somehow, in 2019 that won, and for years, even before. I guess for my area, which is a very Republican county, a very Republican city, I guess somehow, I don't know how, we did it before, and why this happened. We had a Democrat that won treasurer a couple years ago. I think even in 2018. I don't know how that person won, that 81, but somebody else, Republican, flipped our treasurer seat. So that's good. My city, my area, a very conservative Republican area, flipped a Democrat seat, which is good for my town and my area, my county. So I want to point that my local election too, which I'm happy about. And I'm proud and I'm thankful to be in a Republican county, in a pretty much Republican state. Yes, we do have issues, and yes, we're kind of wino, unfortunately, but hopefully we have some Indiana and governor elections in 2024. Hopefully we can change some things here. But I am proud to be in a Republican city, Republican county. We're now more conservative than before, I feel like. And hopefully more changes can happen for our great things. But yeah. We had good results in our city. So anyway, but now is our time to focus on that 2024 Indiana races. And get rid of rhinos in our cities and towns and governor and state races. So anyway, but yeah. And hopefully other states can do the same too. But anyway, And hopefully next time in Kentucky, which will be in 2027, for their governor, hopefully we can change their governor too. Luckily, he won a second final term, and that Andy Beshear won't be there for only 4 more years. So luckily it's almost finished for Kentucky. I feel bad for Kentucky, but one has to think. I think the thing about state elections and local elections, I think people and citizens and voters of state elections, of city elections, city council elections, state elections, like governor races, I think people vote more and vote different ways for local elections and in state elections, local elections, city elections, because yes, the federal government has a big impact on states and cities, but I think local elections, people and citizens think state elections like governor, secretary of state, attorney general, treasurer, stuff like that, clerk, things like that, auditor, which, yeah, the governor, the lieutenant governor races, the attorney general, and Kentucky somehow has a Republican lieutenant governor now, I think. But yes, the governor race, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the secretary of state, big one, attorney general, big one, auditors, big one, treasurer's a big one. Those are part races too. And yes, the state House of Representatives are important too. The state Senate are important too. And state and local elections like mayor, judges, treasurer, attorney general for a city, city manager sometimes, clerks, maybe a city auditor or a city treasurer. Those are important too, and city council races, mayor elections. Those are important elections. And school district elections, that some school districts have elections. Not unfortunately, my school district we're in don't have elections, but some do, and those are important too. Sometimes superintendents have elections. Those state and local elections are a big deal. And I think citizens think they have a big impact, and they do. They do have a big impact. And I think states have bigger impacts than federal. Sometimes. And I think local elections have lots of power too. Because I think people feel like the state and city council and maybe commissioners and stuff affect them more with policies, which is true in agenda. I think we do get more impact from local and state level, but we also, from the federal level, we have more impact. But I think people think state and local have more impact, which is true, and they want certain people to be in certain positions on the state and local level compared to the federal level, I feel like. And sometimes that might be a Democrat. It's also based on the candidate for governor. It depends on the mayor. It depends on the city council people. It depends on who's running for secretary. I think it just depends on who they are, what they say, what they do, what they've done. I think that's why state and local elections are so different, because people feel like they have a better impact. And it is, I think state elections and local elections, especially city, can have a big part of our democracy system in our nation. Because I think votes count more in the state and local level, especially for state representatives and state senators that represent smaller areas than the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House. Those are definitely important too. And the president's more important too, but I think maybe also they think the president is more important than they vote for Trump. Like a state like Kansas or Kentucky or Nebraska or Louisiana, maybe they might be Democrat for governor. Maybe because they trust that governor, maybe they think as a conservative governor, maybe they think maybe that governor would do good for their state. Or maybe things like constitutional things, like abortion, like in Ohio, or marijuana, maybe they support those things locally, maybe federally, but maybe they feel like Trump is a better person. I don't know. I think local elections are. We need to remember that local elections, state elections, can be different than federal elections, and maybe they might vote for a Democrat governor, but they might vote for Trump. And I think it's interesting. I think it's really interesting, though. I'm curious why they vote for Trump, but they can't vote for Cameron. That's what I'm curious about. And why can't they vote for Duncan, but also at the same time vote for Biden? Like, and this, some states that are very purple, like Nebraska and Maine, and even states like New Hampshire, Vermont, that have a Republican governor but vote for Biden, and Biden wins there, which don't do much with the election. And even states like Georgia, which are really weird. But like, I'm curious. Why are these swing states? Why are they so tough elections, close elections, and why are some Democrats with this local race or state race but vote for Trump? Like, I'm just curious about voters. I'm just curious about states, and we really need, before 2024, we need to investigate why these voters vote the way they do. I bet there's a reason behind it. I don't know. Maybe they feel like the state, they need a Democrat governor. And I might disagree with who they vote for and what they decide to do. But the good thing, they decide to vote, and they decide to vote that way. But they might still. But also, the weird thing is, they're Andy Beshear people, but they're also voting for Trump. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, why didn't they vote for Cameron if they voted for Trump? Because Trump supports Cameron, and Cameron supports Trump, and Cameron wants similar stuff like Trump does for Kentucky, like owing taxes and other things. Like, I'm just so confused. I'm just really. But as Republicans, we need to fight and rally and do better than this election with the next election, and we need to also investigate why, and maybe try to appeal to them better than we are now, because maybe we're not doing a total good job, and maybe we need to do better before the next election. We need to do better for the next election. I bet we will. And hopefully for the next governor's election for Kentucky, hopefully they find a better candidate, and I don't know. It has Andy Beshear is more so a Democrat that a Republican would support, just like probably Brandon Presley, but I don't know. Elections are weird sometimes and confusing, and maybe sometimes disappointing, but we need to focus more so on the victories, and we also need to focus on 2024. We need to focus on future stuff, and we need to do better next time. But I am happy with the positive and great results, especially the biggest one being Louisiana, flipping that governor's seat, which is a big deal. So, but I have some great news about Trump and Republicans tomorrow, because we'll do another one of these tomorrow evening, probably Sunday evening, because I have church and bowling. Bowling and church in the morning, bowling in the afternoon. So sometime tomorrow evening, I'll do my final episode of season 3, because episode 3. So I'll see you. That's all I have to say tonight. Once again, thank you to all the veterans for all they have done for our country, keeping us free. And I want to say thank you to the veterans on this Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. And thanks for watching this video. And I'll see you for another Jonhson Mclang show tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.